I don't know how terrible 2025 is going to be, but so far it's really showing to be one hell of a year because we got this fire going on. We got Donald Trump just being, well, himself, obviously. And we also have the ongoing case of people not looking for work, either because of these stupid ghost postings or the tiresome application process or these interview processes that gives you false hope. So it's been talked ad nauseum at this point, but given that this is a new year and we're still basically going through the same old shit, I figured that I'd give my 2 cents about it because, like many of you guys out there, I also been banging my head on the wall just trying to find work again after all the layoffs and terminations that I went through, and also the fact that I owed money to the unemployment people. So, there's that. But that's besides the point. What matters now is that you try to look for a stable job so you can provide for yourself and other people, and these people, the higher ups, they don't understand that either because they don't want to or they're just basically using you just to make ends meet. So ghost posting, pretty sure this is a term that everybody is grown accustomed to because it's been on the news, it's been on the talk for God knows how long, and it's still an ongoing problem, which is why I don't use websites like LinkedIn and Indeed, Career Builds, ZipRecruit, Simply Hired, Second Job Monster. I do not use any of those. And honestly, neither should you. If you're looking for a job, your best bet is to just find whatever company that floats your boat and just apply at their website, because there is no way in hell that you're just going to scroll through LinkedIn and Indeed and think that whatever position that you think is a good fit for you, that's the job that you apply for on that website. When it's best to just look up if the position has been filled or not, because chances are that it already has and it hasn't been removed, or it says easy to apply and people apply it to their heart's content. Ghost posting to me is no different than catfishing, where they just send out a job post and then people just apply for it, and then after that nothing happens. Either the position has been filled or the position is non-existent. Either way, it results to nothing, and you basically wasted your time just going through the application process thinking that you made some sort of a difference when no, you didn't. And this has been talked about in the news before, and to see that it's an ongoing problem would honestly be an understatement. In fact, there's actually an article out there that talks about job posting because it's so much of a problem that you might as well just move these to your spam folder at any time you apply for these positions. So it says right here, in some cases, a company may not be actively hiring for a position, but is keeping the listing up in hopes that their ideal candidate one day finds and applies to the job. Resume Builder, an online resume and jobs platform, conduct a survey of its clients who list open positions, asking if and why they post ghost jobs. More than 60% of those surveyed admitted that the practice was done in part to make employees believe their workload would be alleviated by new workers. Even more than that, 62% said they wanted their employees to feel replaceable. Feel replaceable? What does that mean? Meaning that they're disposable and that they can be swapped out anytime? Because if so, then that's not how you treat employees. People apply to your positions so they can work and earn a living. And here they are saying that employees are replaceable. So that way they have no choice but to keep working at that job in the fear that they would lose their job at any given moment. According to Greenhouse, at least 70% of the companies on its platform posted at least one ghost job in the second quarter of 2024, and 50% of companies did so regularly. The industries that most frequently posted ghost jobs were construction, the arts, food service, and legal services, according to the data. One frustrated creative, Alexander Ray, shared his experience with ghost jobs and theorized on LinkedIn that the fake listings were companies testing their bait. And honestly, this bait might as well just be catfishing, because that's how irritating and honestly unacceptable that these so-called ghost postings really are. So what is the point of these applicant systems? To think it's a way of interviewing roles to do research only, to find out what type of fish you can catch with a certain type of bait and then throw them back. Sport fishing. This reminds me of, remember that stupid State Farm commercial where the fisherman had a dollar bill on the fishing line and the girl that wanted that dollar bill was just frustrated that she simply just didn't get the dollar bill?
I got you $1. Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
That's what this is, because you apply for these positions to earn money. That's how you get shit in this fucked up world. So imagine instead of the dollar bill, it's a job where you try to reach for that job, but the fisherman was like, no, not today. That's basically what ghost posting really is. So you can apply to these positions, but it'll amount to nothing, which is why that I recommend that nobody applies on LinkedIn or Indeed ever again. Because now that all these ghost postings are gonna start populating websites like these, I honestly see no point to it. So it's best to just apply on company websites because they're more legitimate than these job searching websites ever will be. The trust has been damaged and perhaps gone entirely. But let's say that you do find a job and it actually sticks with you. You have to go through that obnoxious application process, typing in your name, typing in your cell phone number, because God forbid you can't just live through this bitch of a life without a cell phone, and your email address, which honestly, this is how they should interact with you in the first place. Okay, it's not so simple as walking into an establishment and then they just provide you a job application. They want you to use a computer, assuming that you have access to one. If not, then you gotta find some public retailer that does have one, assuming they can actually let you use a computer. So you go through all that, you go through your availability, your identification, all that. And then comes the waiting game after you submit your application, which is the worst part because they can either say yes or no. This takes weeks, if not months, for higher ups to do, because I completely understand when they have a whole bunch of applications to look at and it's difficult for them to handpick which one is going to be a right fit for the job. But even if they do pick someone who's right fit for the job, they still got to go through training. They still got to know what it is they have to do, because a simple description of what the job is, that's no different than writing a thesis statement in an essay. A hands-on experience is required to fully understand what the job is and how to do it, so that way you know what to do and how to do it with minimum assistance from anybody else. And this is an ongoing problem that I've been seeing in some other jobs, because instead of the higher ups training you, they will push that job to another employee to help you. I've had jobs like that where that happened, and honestly, I'm getting sick and tired of it. Just throwing you into the field with no indication of what to do or how to do it. Kind of defeats the purpose of working now, does it? Because you don't know what the fuck you're doing or how to do it. So when you go through your application process and then you have to wait for like months for a response, assuming that you don't call them and let them know, oh, by the way, I applied for this position, you doing this or what? They'll send you a little email that says that we pursued other candidates or we found someone else that perfectly fits the role, meaning that all your efforts were completely worthless, and they don't simply just direct you to other positions that they find suitable for you. Instead, they just say, nope, try again, and then you have to redo the whole process all over again, which is annoying. But if you do manage to land a job, then comes the interview process, where you gotta look all spick and span top to bottom, make sure you're cleaned off, practice good hygiene, people, and pray to God that you got good transportation, because I've seen the horrors of public transportation, and honestly, it's not pretty. It never is, and honestly never will be, especially when they're still charging you. So you go through the interview, you meet up with the hiring manager or recruiter, whatever the hell, and they basically ask you questions about why they should hire you or what motivates you or where you see yourself in 5 years, stupid questions like that. But in reality, you honestly don't give a shit about these establishments. The only thing you care about is making that money so that way you can provide for yourself and other people. So basically, you have to fake it, because who the hell is passionate about working at Walmart or Target or your favorite grocery store? Because let's be honest, we don't give a shit. We know that if we don't make money, we're dead. That's what it comes down to. So after answering all those questions, which makes you feel like that you're going through some dumbass speed dating, you think in your mind or your heart that the interview went well, but then comes the notification that you blew it, and then you have to redo the entire process again. No matter what happens, whether you're applying for a job or interviewing for a job, there's always that lingering dread of blowing it, and you'll never know until the last moment, and it is entirely soul crushing. And for me personally, it is the most annoying, egregious, irritating, frustrating experience that I have ever felt. And because of that, I have grown to hate looking for work on a daily basis, to the point where I just don't want to do it, and I just want to lay in bed and not move for like an hour. They don't make this easy. They don't make this bearable, and it should, because everyone has the right to work. Everyone has the right to earn money. Everyone has the right to provide for themselves and other people. And I'm seeing all these people all over TikTok where they're expressing their woes about how awful the job market is.
Bro, this job market, I swear to God, I feel like these people are playing with us.
I almost cried mid-interview because I was so frustrated.
I've been unemployed for 7 months.
I'm getting more insecure and depressed by the day.
I miss how they hired in the 90s.
Tell me why I'm the third stage of an interview process, and I thought that everything was going smoothly, but the hiring manager and the recruiter told me the hiring manager decided to go on paternity leave. Take your paternity leave, but do not start an interview process where we have to wait about like a month later and ask like the recruiter, hey, is so and so, done with the paternity leave? Can we schedule a meeting? The next following step of the process. Like, what is this job market, man? They're just pissing me off. Like, what the fuck?
You guys want to know how bad the job market is? I almost cried mid-interview because I was so frustrated. Like, what the fuck? I've never felt that before. But I'm just so frustrated and I don't know what to do. Like,
thing that I wish that people would have told me in the beginning of my job search is that when you're looking for a new opportunity, people think that you are stupid. Like, people think that you're an idiot. The amount of times I was told, oh, it's about networking. Have you tried reaching out to your alumni network? Have you tried applying for non-technical roles? Have you tried? And it's like, yes. Like, duh, I'm not an idiot here. And it kind of gets to a point where it's like, what do you do when you have tried literally everything? And a lot of people try to take advantage of you just feeling very insecure over the job search, and they try to get you to buy some BS course. So many people give you the same advice over and over and over again, and it just gets so frustrating, and you already feel so alone during your job search. It feels like that everyone around you has a great opportunity besides you. Really annoying because people send you to like various job boards and they're like, well, have you tried this? Have you tried this? And it's like, yes, I've tried fucking everything. I'm not an idiot. Like, obviously I want a new job. And people would tell me things like, oh, well, why don't you just try to do a humble job or something like that? And it's like, I'm getting rejected from them too. Are you kidding me?
And these higher ups will never understand because they see you as expendable, they see you as replaceable. They don't give a shit about your well-being, because if they did, they would find it in their hearts to hire you, to train you, to make sure that you are prepped and ready for the job at hand. Everyone deserves a chance to contribute to something, either for themselves or other people. But hey, they got a business to run. Gotta put the hamsters in those wheels, I guess. And this is why it is the utmost importance to keep whatever job that anyone has right now, to ensure that this doesn't happen to you. If there's a job that you work at and you absolutely hate it, you hate the employees, you hate the customers, you hate the higher ups, keep this job. It is the only thing that's helping you, making ends meet and being able to provide for yourself and other people. Even if the job is life-threatening, keep it. Don't lose it, because once you lose it, it is infeasible to find a replacement. Especially we're in LA right now, not because of the fire, but because it is one of the most expensive places to live in. There are a whole bunch of homeless people who's desperately trying to get off the streets, and they are finding it nearly impossible to do so, all because they're not getting the services that they rightfully need. And this is why people have decided to leave this country or leave the state. Why would they want to be in a place where it's impossible to find work under normal means, where it's so demanding, where they're asking for so much years of experience, and they're asking for all these degrees, whether it be masters, bachelors, or doctrines? If it's as simple as working at a grocery store or a supermarket, why is the demand so high? Now, I'm not an expert when it comes to every type of field when looking for work, whether it be engineering, constructing, or fuck it, maybe office work. I don't know. Who can say what goes on in the office? I have no clue because I've never worked in the office. But I can only imagine the horrors of how saturated that these job postings are, and they're only selecting a select few people to work these positions, where the vast majority are left with nothing. So combining all the troubles that job searching provides with the ghost posting, with the high demand of experience and requirements, trying to brute force an interview by asking all these stupid questions and basically just lying on your resume, because let's face it, how else are we supposed to get shit with a basic ass resume where we only have months of experience at one job, possibly weeks? This is why people lie, and rightfully so. But a resume can only get you so far. Even with a cover letter, this can only get you so far. And I recently just wrote my cover letter, and I'm getting responses from companies that I've applied for over a month ago that I actually forgot about. And after going through multiple hiring agencies and talking with professionals that can help me, I'm still unemployed. I'm still living with my family. I don't have my own place yet. This is how fucked up the situation is, to the point where it feels like I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel just to find one simple job that can help me in the long run. And to get this out there, honestly, I hate money. Money is the worst substance that mankind will ever know. You need money for food, you need money for clothing, you need money for shelter, you need money to ensure that you don't end up on the streets, possibly digging through trash cans trying to look for your next meal, wandering the filthy streets trying to figure out when your next bath is going to happen or when there's going to be rain. All the nasty shit that the urban life provides, and you want no part of it. You do everything in your power to ensure that the pain is reduced, but these idiots ensure that the pain is eternal. They neglect you, they shun you, and worst of all, they don't give a fuck about you. And I always go back to my favorite trailer from Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
No one gives a fuck about you. You're a number. An asset. A pawn in someone else's game. They've been manipulating you. Watching you. Exploiting you. And when they get what they want, they'll leave you for dead.
These people don't give a fuck about you. They only need an extra set of hands and feet to work their operations. Because if they cared, which they don't, you would have been hired by now. You would have been making all the money that you needed. They wouldn't have so many complaints. They would treat you the same way that they treat their peers and everybody else that they deem equal. There is so much inequality when it comes to looking for work that is absolutely criminal, and it should be treated as such. Even to the point where they're posting jobs that technically don't exist, and they're treating it as bait, where according to this article, John Strauss, Greenhouse's president, told the Wall Street Journal that the situation was kind of a horror show. The job market has become more soul-crushing than ever. If there's something that you're passionate about, I think it's of your best interest to focus on that. Go back to school, learn what you want to learn, make a career out of that, talk to specialists that actually give a shit about you, work on your goals and dreams in this bitch of a life. Job searching right now is the work of the devil, and it will do anything in your power to ensure that you are spiritually broken, because this is how fucked up this situation is. What used to be as simply as walking into an establishment and signing an application has now become this sick game where it feels like that you need to be privileged to work or not. And it also wouldn't surprise me if people actually committed suicide because of it. Wouldn't surprise me, because there's only so much that a human being can take until they inevitably crack. And when it happens, you'll know firsthand. Job searching has indeed gotten harder, but it's also gotten stupider. And it's all thanks to the ignorant motherfuckers who don't give a fuck about us. To them, we're just hamsters running on wheels.